Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk a bunch of animated shows and movies here with new podcasts every other Wednesday. Find everything about us at overlyanimated.com. I'm your host, Dylan Hysen, and I'll be joined shortly by Delaney and April to finally talk about Ladybug and the big recent Ladybug episodes that I know are hotly anticipated that we discuss. So that is coming up. It was a great discussion. I think we're going to cover, I'm sure we covered everything you guys were hoping for. Look for the podcast description for timestamps on when that discussion starts very shortly and when we talk about certain topics within Ladybug. And recently, we just came off of discussing the Owl House Season 2 mid-season finale. You can check out our podcast on that and all of our recent Owl House Season 2 coverage. Find that on wherever you listen to this podcast. Also, check out our previous Ladybug Season 4 podcast, all there on all of our podcast feeds and on our YouTube. All those links at overlyanimated.com. And last thing is, I again wanted to say we appreciate your reviews and comments wherever you're listening. If you want to give us an Apple podcast review, that would be greatly appreciated. Our review of the week this time comes from Snagglebrain, who says, it gets dark sometimes, love your guys' podcast, and reveling in the absurdism. On another note, are we not going to talk about how Cat Noir was going to cataclysm himself in the Depression flesh tube? 5 stars. So thank you, Snagglebrain. Yes, that happened. I think it was briefly mentioned, but look, it's just a drop in the bucket of all the things that happen in Ladybug, the Depression flesh tube. So we will see all the ridiculous topics that we get into coming up in this discussion. And yes, we appreciate your 5-star reviews. We look forward to hearing from you. It's now time to get into our main topic. Okay, it is time for the main event, Miraculous Ladybug. We are finally here to talk about the latest 4 episodes, as I am joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And April Collins.
Hi there.
Yes, it is the latest 4 episodes of Ladybug that have aired in the Disney Channel US. Specifically, that is what we've been following this season. So these are episodes we're discussing are Sentibubbler, Rocketear, Wishmaker, and Leech. Those are the latest 4 episodes that aired. It is now on hiatus in the United States on Disney Channel, so we will be on hiatus after this. I don't know when it's coming back yet. But these were the 13 episodes now that we have seen, so half the season. Spoilers in this podcast for these 4 episodes, and in total, episodes 1 to 4, 6 to 8, 10 to 11, 13 to 14, and 17 to 18 of season 4.
Jeez.
We're doing so well, but there's random gaps, yeah.
They're like so close, and yet
I know.
no.
So we have not seen more than that, including Crocodile. Please do not spoil us in the comments. Thank you. Please, you guys have been great about that. Please don't spoil our episodes that haven't aired yet. Although, as of this recording, we're almost caught up except for 1 episode. We'll see if more start airing. I am worried about it taking a while to come back just because is Disney going to wait until all 13 left are ready? Because that might be a while.
Who knows?
So
I don't
we'll
even I don't know.
So we'll see. Okay, but we have a big podcast here. This is, I would say, maybe our most anticipated Ladybug discussion ever.
I have so many feelings.
I know. I want to say in advance, I apologize if we do not cover everything from these episodes. This is the first time I'm pretty confident that we are not going to get to everything here. I was trying to add another section in the outline right before.
You should see this outline. First off, it's like 5 pages.
No, it's 9 pages. It's
I added
pages.
screenshots to them.
Like 4 pages are pictures.
Yeah. Also, look, there was 1 page of real stuff we're going to go over. The rest is if we have time. So let's see. Anyway, let's get to it. Again, spoilers for Sentibubbler, Rocketear, Wishmaker, and Leech. Delaney, overall thoughts on these 4 episodes?
I loved all of them. They're all great episodes. I think after the fact, after I watched these episodes, I saw something from... I was looking up something on the Ladybug wiki, which is also a mistake. If you don't want spoilers, don't go there. I only saw episode.
Wow, I'm surprised you looked up something on the Ladybug
I was
wiki.
looking something up. I didn't realize...
I didn't know you'd ever been there.
Oh, I've been there several times.
Okay.
Don't worry. Well, sometimes I have to.
Yeah, we knew there was one later episode title that was revealed.
Yeah. And I had looked, and also I look sometimes, especially because I think I was looking to make sure I had watched all the episodes I needed to watch.
Yeah, so you click on the US tab on the season 4 list. Yeah, okay.
And I saw down there's a comment about like, so it was like trivia about this. You know, the wiki has like random crap on it, and it was like, so Thomas said that each episode this season will have a bomb. Like of information or whatever, and I was like, what will he write though? Like after these 4 episodes, like that's the only way I can describe it. Is like all of these are like, there's a lot going on, and it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yes, you bomb tears from Rocketeer.
Oh God, that was yes.
No, get out of here, Dylan. That's it.
Okay, but you were big. That was your main reaction. Just huge episodes.
Yeah, and I enjoyed all of them. Like they were all really good. Like I mean, it was overwhelming because oh my God, but not in a bad way.
I know. We'll try to parse it all. April, your big takeaways from the 4 episodes.
I'm very overwhelmed. I have lots of feelings and thoughts, so much so that I copied your outline and then just like basically wrote in all of my notes with it. So that's a thing. But I will say whenever I went to go like rewatch the episodes because I had time to do that, I watched Mega Leech first and then the other one.
Yeah, well, that is the order. Mega Leech is supposed to be before the other 3.
Yeah, so I watched it that way and I was like, this feels so much better than the first time because it was just like, I don't know, like Mega Leech just seems so like random after Wishmaker. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have lots of feelings and opinions and comments, and it's been really hard to not just like bombard you guys every single day with like all of my thoughts about everything. So I'm so happy for this podcast.
Look, maybe we should do that. This podcast should be like a continuation of already started discussions. We could do that. I think that'll probably be confusing, but we'll get it all. No one will know what we're talking about. Yeah, we'll get it all out here. So it's a good point to bring up that Wishmaker is the last episode chronologically that we've seen so far. But yeah, I mean, I think Mega Leech is not connected to like the main storyline like the other 3 are probably, you would say.
It is in the sense
there's stuff it needs to be after. So like there's even in Mega Leech there's serialization. Yeah, okay. So my opinion, I think this is like the best group of Ladybug episodes we've talked about. I mean, we haven't been talking about groups until this season, but like I think this is like the best Ladybug has ever been. I've been so impressed with season 4.
Yeah, no, I
oh my
agree.
God,
I think the show has like fully realized its potential now. Sure, I'm frustrated that we're not doing huge things like the identity reveal and the wish, but that's just like, set that aside. Like what they are doing is big this season, and it is more importantly like incredibly effective storytelling. Almost every episode is really incredible. Like this is like incredible use of the Ladybug formula, like better than ever this season. And I'm ready to say like Ladybug is now one of the best shows on television, which I've never said before.
It's true. It's always been our like, it's like our favorite.
Last season of Ladybug was great. Like
our like fan favorite. You know what I mean? Like we love to be a fan of it.
Look, season 1 wasn't that good. Season 2 was actively good. Season 3 was like genuinely a great TV show. Now this is like, I think one of the top tier animated shows. I will be not voting for Ladybug as a best show nominee this year. Lock it in. Never done that before, and it's already a lock.
Whoa.
Through 13
I'm writing
episodes.
This down.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, with a lot of like our older shows that that we covered like out of the running, I mean, Ladybug could win.
And Ladybug continues when many shows have now ended. I think the thing with Ladybug, this is season 4 with 26 episode seasons. Ladybug has had a chance to bloom in a way that no other show basically does. Like this is building off of stuff that they have built up through, the 80s whatever episodes that have came more than that have came before this. So
well, it almost feels like Avatar in a way, in that I do want to say that like obviously like they're very different shows, but Avatar, like we didn't really get that overarching plot until like book 2.
Yeah. And And Ladybug is like, you have a show like an Avatar Kipo that is like, it's going somewhere from the start. And Ladybug, they clearly have a master plan here. And we'll talk about some maybe long-term arcs that are hit on in these episodes, including Adrien's The Sentimonster. Highly anticipated follow-ups.
Super. Yeah, don't worry, guys. We got it. Immediately, I was like spamming Dylan. I was like, Dylan.
Yes, that was our biggest reactions.
I was watching these so I work like swing shifts, so it's like night. Like it's like the middle of the night, and I'm watching these episodes, and I'm like,
have you watched an episode of Ladybug at like 3 a.m.?
Yeah, and I spam message Dylan so that when Dylan wakes up.
April, that was because Delaney works nights, but you also have done this despite not working nights.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Look, it's a great time to watch Ladybug. I'm just saying.
Look, 3 a.m. Ladybug is the best Ladybug.
3 a.m. Ladybug.
The more delirious you are, the better Ladybug.
Yeah,
look,
absolutely.
it just hits differently. Okay, like
I will say, Ladybug's also, and I think I've said this before. Ladybug is really like my feel good show. Like even if sometimes it's hard for me to make myself like watch a show just because like it's a commitment, and then like I like get tired or bored, or I'm just not like I'm sad, so I don't want to do anything, but then I make myself watch Ladybug and I instantly feel better because Ladybug's so good. It's so fun. Like it's just a happy show.
That's good. You guys start rewatching stuff then. That would be the ultimate fan.
I know. No. Oh, I have my new show list on my phone of things I'm going to work through. Like now that I'm caught up on Rick and Morty, it's Solar Opposites and then Craig of the Creek. And then the list goes on.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But if you wanted to watch a Ladybug repeat, we'd understand instead of new stuff. Because, look, okay, and to finish my thought on this, is, and Ladybug, like, has a formula that it's been evolving and character motivations it's been compounding on. It's not like this big, grand plot show, over and over. It's built up in an incredible way to this season. These are some of my favorite episodes. Like, no disrespect to Mega Leech, which is a good episode, potentially very good episode, but I think the other three are like some of the most standout episodes of Ladybug ever. I think Sentibubbler is a pretty incredible plot episode, like on par with Optigami as like this really great dramatic episode. Rocketear, I don't know if everyone's on board with this. I love Rocketeer. Like, this is one of the most meme episodes of Ladybug ever. Probably
it's incredible.
It's probably the silliest Ladybug episode ever, and so of course I love it.
It's like the most Ladybug episode.
the dumber it is, the more Ladybug it is. That's how you
exactly.
I really
that's also to me that's also what Mega Leech is. It's like so Ladybug.
Yeah, and in a different way, yeah. It's more of the like Ladybug can also be like moralistic and a little bit more serious, but also still memey. In Mega Leech.
Super memey.
Yeah. But no, Rocketeer, it's just, there's some of my favorite gags. I think like, once we cut to like Detective Noir Nino.
So funny.
I think that might have been the hardest I've laughed at Ladybug ever. Like the first time I saw it.
And I think for me, what got me is how long it went on. That's really like.
It's good.
And no one called him out on it either.
My favorite is Adrien's like, when did you put this stuff down here? It's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Like when did you do this? And it's so funny because I think it's also a really good gag because throughout this season we keep coming down to the boiler room because these children are weird. Why do we keep coming down
I
to
was
the
like,
boiler
this
room?
is below the school, right?
Guys,
but
what if they turn it into their superhero hideout?
Oh, interesting. Maybe that's why we keep showing it.
Maybe like once
we're
she
gonna
has
talk
the
about
team
the
together.
building hero team. Yeah, that's on my list to talk about.
Yeah,
so.
it's gonna be like the Justice League, but they're gonna be in the boiler room of their school, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, they know that because
isn't that? Well, no, Code Lyoko. It was underground, but it wasn't. Was it at their school? Didn't they?
It was. They always biked or something. It was an abandoned factory, kind of close by.
I couldn't remember.
That's what my 10 years ago memory says. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's true because that was also the boiler room or whatever. It was also in the weird episode where they go down the hole and anyway Rocketeer best Alya Nino episode by far.
It's so good.
Easy.
No, this episode made me love Nino.
Yeah, I mean it definitely like they've gotten much better at Nino.
Like I messaged Dylan, I was like, I mean I'll always love Miraculous, right? But I was like, this episode like made me like feel good about Alya and Nino.
Like Delaney, we hated that they were doing Alya and Nino to start, but kudos to them. Like, and this is again for like they've had so many episodes to build stuff up. This is like genuinely great side relationship in the show.
They're so adorable, and also Super Pinguino gets mentioned like 8 times.
Yeah, Nina's like, you want to play Super Penguino. Like, that is, considering what we think that metaphor is, that is a weird way of saying that, but okay.
I loved
Oh
it.
my god.
They're like hanging out in his room or something too.
Yeah,
Let's
you know
play Super
doing.
Penguino.
And of course, Wishmaker. If you guessed that, I love this one. This is one of my all-time favorite Ladybug episodes. I do think it's brilliant. There's so many amazing things this episode. Luka is we've said this last time that Luka's genuinely a great character, but like he's like incredible in this episode. And
here's the thing: this episode actually made me like Luka.
I think you might have said that exact phrase before.
Probably, it doesn't matter.
Especially this episode.
Okay, my main problem with Luka, because I'm literally a 14-year-old girl, is like, oh my god, he's gonna ruin Adrien and Marinette. But no, it's fine now that he's not a romantic interest, and instead he's like being like super nice to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
And one of the biggest developments of the show, Luka knowing, we're going to talk about it.
I lost it. I was like, oh my, and then I have a coworker who watches Ladybug, but she's not caught up, but she doesn't care if I tell her stuff. I was like, oh my god, I have to tell you. And she was like, oh my god,
how dare spoil her.
We're at work. I'm like screaming.
Good. That is what works for. Seriously. And Wishmaker, some of the best real life stuff with the new throuple. We talked about that end of last season with different throuple now. Incredible character stuff there. One of the best hero fight sequences with Wishmaker. Incredible reveal. Especially like you get the fake out identity reveals. So those were really fun too.
My son?
Yeah.
So good.
Amazing Shadow Moth content. So yeah, I love Wishmaker so much. One of my all-time favorites, if not could be my all-time favorite. We'll see. But yeah, well, let's get into everything from these episodes. Again, probably not going to get to everything, but we can start with Alya because, Alya, the main plot of the season, and we're coming off of Optigami, where
it's really gotta hurt Hawkmoth that he gets outsmarted by children on the daily. Like, it's really
he doesn't even know he was outsmarted in this episode.
I know.
He was so far outsmarted he doesn't even know.
Yeah, he doesn't even know how outsmarted he was.
So
also, Alya might be. I think we're at the point now where Alya is the most competent character.
I think it's been that way. I think we've always known
been
this.
Alya.
Well, now we get to see her being like.
But now she's like part of the action.
Yeah.
I think if Marinette didn't bring Alya into the mix, then they would have lost. Now,
I agree.
It would have been over.
It's like, sure, Shadow Moth wouldn't be going after Alya, but he's the other heroes who go after too, and probably wouldn't be able to throw him off.
Granted, I'm still, the moment Marinette realized that Nino was a Sentimonster is still like one of the like coolest moments.
Okay, we'll get to that. There's so much in Sentibubbler, which serves as a direct follow up to Optigami, where we learn that Shadow Moth is going to target Alya, and also Alya gets the Miraculous permanently. And so this episode, we pick right back up into that. And
I can't believe he calls her.
Right?
He just calls her, and she
calls everybody.
I think that is like they're having kind of a silly stuff before. There's like we start off with a super meme nightmare, and then
oh my god, the nightmare is so funny.
Alya comes out of that side room, gets the phone call.
But like, why is like Shadow Moth so tall in this nightmare? Like,
I know
he's because they're children and they're like 4 feet, and he's like, I don't know if that's and he's.
Look, I was fully grown to 5'2" when I was their age,
It's
so
true. Same. Except
he's like 6'5" or something. I don't know. He's tall.
Taller than
he's ginormous.
Yeah, I think
like 7 feet tall.
All getting the phone call, I think, is the biggest oh crap moment in Ladybug history.
Oh, absolutely, because she answers it, and we're like, oh my god, and then because it's one of those things that like we didn't like. He's like, all right, it's time. I'm gonna. Because my thing is like, if it's just because he doesn't know she has it permanently, like this would have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
like, this is
one of his
to
most intense plans ever by far.
Yeah, and this is why you have to like this was one of those things that shows like how important your secret identity is.
Yeah.
I think that this episode really helped like Alya see that, but then it kind of goes away later. But I think that's she has her reasons for why she ends up revealing it to Nino, I'm sure. But like,
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's talk about that kind of two-part Sentibubbler into Rocketeer, two aspects of this more involved Alya role. As she's able to throw Shadowmoth off the scent in Sentibubbler, which I think I was initially like a little disappointed by, because it's like a Ladybug sometimes does this where it introduces a potentially big thing and then it immediately squashes it. But then again, we follow it up right away in Rocketeer, although it's a few episodes later. And that episode kind of deals with the more of the personal kind of effects that the secrets have on Alya herself and her relationships, because now she's in kind of the Marinette position where she has to keep all the secrets.
And we're building in the background the impact it's having on Adrien.
Yes, which is something I want to talk about, which I think there's several recurring threads through these 3 episodes, and even bring Meg Leech in too. It's kind of a good one to tack on, especially for the Sentimonster stuff. But
I was gonna say that I think like, in terms of like Adrien sort of questioning his place as a superhero, I think that watching Mega Leech first kind of really like puts that more into perspective, because I was just like, oh, like she literally is like calling on people every single time, and then like she calls on him sort of less, in a sense. So
yeah, and maybe like the Alya plotline is part of it is transitioning from Marinette has brought Alya in and now hasn't brought Kat in. So what's the effects of that? Maybe that's the direction. But we'll probably do more stuff with Alya too.
I wanted to strangle him though. I was like, listen to them. Oh my god.
Yeah, in Sentibubbler for sure. Yeah. Delaney, I get you must. We've been tracking your thoughts on Alya, your favorite character even before this season. She's the star of this season. She has 2 more starring role episodes here moving. She's continuing kind of the main plot of the season. Are you liking what they're doing with her?
I absolutely am. There are, and also this is because like she gets to do more. She has been a little frustrating. Like she's done some stuff that's like, why did you do that? Oh my god. But no, I think it's really great that we're like propping Alya up the way we are. And we're seeing more. And also, it makes for a really interesting dynamic, like, what we're seeing now with, like, because it's different. They interact differently with each other as Rena Rouge and Ladybug, and then now what? Rena Furtive.
Yes.
Which is, like, the dumbest name ever. But it's fine.
We can bring Rena Furtive into the mix as we're talking about Alya. What do you think of Blue? The
it's
blue
so
costume.
Good. It's so good.
Okay,
Are you about to diss the blue, April?
Well, like, okay, I like the color blue, but I feel like it's just kind of goofy because, her color scheme's changed, yes, but now she has like this weird camo print.
No, the camo's great. That's the reason I like it.
Yeah, and I was like, but if you're gonna do like this weirdo camo print, then you might as well make it like green and like really like hone into it.
No, it's kind of like night camo.
Yeah, well, and my other thought too is like, why not do like sort of like the khaki like shades of brown, because then like you're playing off of the orange, and I'm like, blue is like the absolute opposite of orange.
Hey, Thomas, you should hire April
for color theory.
I mean, I guess blue contrasts with orange. Yeah, I think they say it's supposed to signify her new role on the team. She's like, hey, Ladybug, you notice this? Like,
I did really like that. And oh god. And then like, there's all this stuff like that, leads into Rocketeer. She's like, look it on my phone. And then they can't talk about it. Oh,
yeah. Alya, new outfit, new role on the team, and she,
I will say, I feel for Alya, she's, she gets, this is really cool. Like she gets to be a superhero and she can't tell anyone about it. And also as soon as she becomes a superhero permanently, she can't be seen. She's like written off almost. Yeah.
Right, but she does end up telling Nino kind of, that she is still working. She's still right, I guess, like she's still the hero. Like at the end of Rocketeer.
She's like, oh, I'm still Rena Rouge.
Yeah, but clearly he doesn't know the extent. He doesn't know she knows who Ladybug is. But brings him into the lake, as I think Marinette has. You could kind of look at it like this. This season, Marinette tells Alya in order to take some of the burden off of her. And so Alya has a similar moment at the end of Rocketeer where she has to tell the person closest to her at least something to take the burden off a little bit. But
it's also, I mean, to be fair, that secret's literally why he got acclimatized.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think, I don't think this is a big thing to tell. We know Nino's trustworthy and stuff, but still Nino doesn't know everything, so we'll see if that's, again, followed up on. But and another side of this is Shadow Moth's big plan, his big in to Ladybug is squashed here, and he is extremely upset at the end of Sentibubbler in the post-credit scene. Yeah, you were feeling for him, of course, April.
Of course. Also, what's their iPad budget like?
Smashes the iPad. Well, he doesn't
smash
rich.
It. He destroys it in his own 2 hands. Like,
it's impressive.
When does he hit the gym? And what hand exercises?
He must have a gym in the mansion, right? Like, he's not going out.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
What if he sends Hollow Dad out to fake being at the gym? Does that count as him exercising if Hollow Dad exercises?
No, absolutely. It's getting steps. It's fine.
Yeah, does he get his steps in through Hollow Dad? Does that count?
So funny.
How does he wear his step tracker?
Yeah, on the hologram somehow.
No. Your phone or your iPad can track it for you. So every time Hollow Dad moves, it just tracks the steps.
I think so. I think he did that, and he's like, "Hey, Natalie, look how much I walked today." She's like, "I know that you've been here. This is not you."
So funny.
You've literally been in this bed all day with me.
Yeah, like I've been in the bed all day. Yeah, we still see her bedridden. And as we cracked the code last podcast that he is sleeping in the bed with her, we think. Still probably true. But yeah, there we get the post-credits frustration scene. So we'll see how he responds. I haven't really seen that yet. How in terms of the master plan, how he's going to respond, because yeah, will it be through the other hero identities he knows? But we can talk about that with the hero stuff too. But yeah, the Alya stuff continuing, and it's I think just one of the biggest things is like the show's commitment to that plot thread this season has, we've never seen that before. It's been, many episodes where Alya being in Ladybug's inner circle now has been a main plot of like several episodes, including the biggest episodes of the season plot wise. So loving how the show has been continuing to treat it.
I mean, that's the thing is like they broke like the rhythm, and now they're like, yep, this is it now.
Yeah, let's come back to Luka, because that was what I was going to talk about next. But I do think the hero stuff is the most relevant here, because another kind of big plot thread of the season is Ladybug continues to build her team, gives out more Miraculouses, presumably building towards the future. We saw that one episode where Ladybug has everyone involved. So we see her.
She's also using team more too. Yes,
we see her add Mylene, and then also gather the team together. One of the first big team ups we've seen outside of like finales, right? In Mega Leech.
With the group picture.
Yes,
so good.
It was good. And including the new heroes in that episode. So it was, I think that was it's cool to see the team continue to be built, and like that's happening while the Alya plotline, and while also Adrien is like continue to be frustrated as his role is undefined as the team keeps growing and stuff. So I think how they're interweaving all these is really interesting too. What do you think of Mylene? I think we call her Mylene sometimes. Episode definitely calling her Mylene. What do you think of Mylene getting the mouse miraculous, one we've seen before? And she's Polymouse. Delaney, did you like Mylene in that episode?
Oh, she's super cute. Like she's perfect. Also, like she's like she was just like a really good candidate to be the next hero. Like I really liked her, and it was like a really good episode for her. So like I just think she's cute. Like she's just cute.
She's like the hoodie, like the mouse ears hoodie.
Yeah,
that's
her costume is amazing.
And she's like a whip that's a tail. It seems
so
like
cute.
I love that. Yeah, she's a great transformation. Yeah. April, any Mylene thoughts? Polymouse thoughts?
I do think it's adorable that before like she gets the miraculous, she's like, I'm afraid of like humidity and mice, and then she her actual thing is the mouse, and I was like, oh no. Like, can you imagine just her like being afraid of her Kwame all of the time?
She was afraid by by the call me the first time, yeah.
I will say it's a pretty normal reaction to be like, what the heck is that?
But yeah, I was gonna say it's also like the most like genuine reaction too, because I agree. I'd probably be like, what the heck is this? I probably would also scream. So way to keep her human. Unlike everyone else that's just like, oh, look at this weird thing. I'm just gonna accept it.
Yeah, Mylene is great as in that episode, like continuing to see all the heroes. It's almost like these like hero episodes are like the smaller ones, which is like in two seasons ago, this would be huge, right? Getting the Miraculous. Yeah, I think, and we'll talk about her. I do like the framing with her being afraid of things and her like being the environmentalist against, of course, we haven't mentioned space dumpsters yet, but the space dumpster follow-up project, we'll come back to that. But yeah, continuing to build the team here, as I assume we'll be giving out some more Miraculouses throughout the season as we go. Okay. Before the Adrien stuff, I think is going to be like a large part of the podcast. So before that, Luka, bring him back into the mix. Big episode for Luka. We talked about it. The big reveal. He knows Ladybug and Cat's identities through the second chance power, even though everyone else forgets them. He does not tell Ladybug at the end. Delaney, you big reaction. What do you think of Luka knowing? What do you think of him not telling Ladybug?
I don't even know. It's not that I'm afraid. And also it makes sense why he didn't say he knows.
Why?
I think he's upset that he knows, and then on top of that, like, he kind of needs to sit and reflect on it because he had that really deep conversation with both of them, and now he's like, oh my god, no wonder they're so stressed.
Yeah. April, reactions.
Like, for anyone else to have figured out or to know that, like, Marinette is Ladybug, first off, Luka was not at the top of my list whatsoever.
Same. Like, he knows both of them.
Yeah.
Luka should be at the top of any of your lists, first of all.
Not that list. But for him to know both of them is just so insane. But I also feel like he's like, oh my gosh, all of these things make sense. Also, shame on him because I don't see him as highly anymore because he lied to Marinette. And you're like, no. He lied to Ladybug. He knows Ladybug is Marinette.
Yeah. Look,
he straight up lied to Marinette.
Look, do you want me to explain Luka's decision at the end of this episode not to tell Ladybug?
No.
I have an innate connection with Luka, so I know how he's feeling here.
The lady is gonna rage quit this podcast.
Look, what you have to understand is Luka is the most empathetic, emotionally connected person in the world. So the reason is...
Okay, too, obviously, like, Ladybug was going to flip out.
The reason he does not tell Marinette is because it would be very upsetting to her. She would not know what to do now that Luka knows both
and that's
the
something
identities.
Too, is, like, she can't undo it.
This is done. I don't think she can miraculous Ladybug. We didn't get that idea that would do anything. No. Luka is gonna take this burden on for himself, even though this might be personally upsetting to him because he still has this thing that with Marinette that they just got past, and knows that she likes Adrien, and now the added thing of their Ladybug and Cat.
Well, and also now he knows what she was lying about.
And all that too. So of course he has to process everything, but like it's only gonna like make things harder for Marinette if he tells her this. So that's why that's why he doesn't tell her, because Marinette not knowing, like, no one knows this besides Luka. Hawkmoth's not going to know to target Luka, except he knows that, I don't think Luka's fully thinking it through. Like, Hawkmoth might target Luka because, he knows Luka's identity, actually, from the end of season 3. So this might be bad in that sense. But, Luka's doing this, I think, to try to not upset Marinette. I think that's the main reason.
And he's also now the only other person. Like, no one knew.
No one in the world knows both Ladybug and Cat's identities.
Well, no one knows.
He's the only one who knows Cat's identity now.
No, he's the only human, right? Like, Master Fu doesn't know anymore. Only Tiki and Plag know, right?
Yep. So he's the only one who knows, like, Cat Noir's identity. Which...
So it's big, and we'll see what Luka does with this. We know, look, like anyone like speculating anything bad, malintent from Luka that might result from this, I think does not know this character because
I don't think that he'll use this. I don't think he has any bad intentions in regards to having this knowledge. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like.
I think we're built. No, the thing.
I mean, you definitely can argue that he should have like told her.
Yeah, he should.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah, for
like,
sure.
But you know, like he's just gonna keep this to
I'm just
himself.
trying to figure out, I guess, like more so, like what exactly he gains from not telling. I mean, I understand.
Well, again, it's not about him. It's about, you know, he cares about Marinette, and so like.
But
this is.
He also knows that it's like the identity thing is huge for Ladybug.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he changes his mind in the future.
Well, I see a few.
Not ready for that.
I see a few like scenarios playing out. Like one, I think they did this. Like, I really think we're going to get the Adrien and Marinette reveal at the end of this season, because I really think we're building, like, we're laying, we've seen how it can play out. It has played out. We know Alya, like, Marinette told Alya and the world didn't end. And then,
well,
now,
and Nino told Adrien.
Right.
Let's bring in our next topic. I think this does relate to the Luka stuff. So, I think one of the more subtle undercurrents through these 3 episodes, I mean, to 4 episode 3, we'll go with the latest 3 chronologically, to varying extents, like, whether it's like a big thing in the episode or not made a big thing, but just Adrien's role in each of these episodes is very much his like frustration at Ladybug being the guardian and what she's building. So, you know, I think how this relates to Luka is like how if Luka sees this happening, you know, how does that relate to what, you know, because Luka could play a mediator in anything that's happening now, although he's, you know, he would have to tell someone first that he knows if he wants to get too much into detail. But I think it's interesting what the show is kind of doing with Adrien right now. And does this mean we're building up to something like Delaney said? I want to talk this out because I do think there's a lot of merit to this notion that we're building to something the end of this season. Because in Sentibubbler, we start off, he's left out of the plan with, after, Rena Rouge calls him, and, you know, clearly he's upset that he's not involved in the plan. In the next episode, big moment that's treated as like secondary to Nino and Alya, but like he learns that Alya and Nino know each other's identities, right. And he's like, I didn't know people could know each other's identities, so he's very upset about that. And then and then
also it's the fact that like Marinette did it to them at the same time, like it was her.
Well, and I think that it had happened, like before she was she was like the guardian, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's just been left out of a lot of stuff. And in Wishmaker, he's like Adrien's kind of like emotional content of the episode. He thinks Ladybug doesn't need him anymore with all these new heroes. So Adrien's main plot this season is kind of being more disillusioned with the rest of the exciting things that are happening, building the hero team, Alya being more involved, brought into the mix. Meanwhile, Adrien still involved in the same level. And increasingly frustrated about it. This is like a big thing that's going into the second half of the season now. You know, what are we building up to? I feel like this is like an interesting thing to do with this character. It's like, you know, we've constantly memed about like how Cat is useless, you know, Ladybug has all the powers, and Ladybug gets to be the guardian. I think this is like a natural place to take this character.
Well, and also they went from being a duo for so long to there's more heroes.
Yes, that's true too. There's a huge thing. They're a duo, and then so that's another natural consequence of Ladybug bringing in more heroes.
It's now a group dynamic versus like a couple dynamic.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like it's a little annoying. I think sometimes when it's like, hey, you know, just do what you're told, Cat, and
also I think he's told what to do as Adrien, so he doesn't have any agency anywhere in his life.
Yeah, and
so you understand it, right?
Was where he got his agency.
Right. So I'm going to say, like, I think we understand emotionally where he's coming from, even as sometimes Adrien haters are not as much as fangirls as the rest of the fandom. You know, I think it's you know, you get where Adrien's coming from. The thing
is, he doesn't like. Adrien doesn't know anything. That's the thing. Like, and also that's something they can hopefully we will explore. Like, there's no reason they can't know each other's identities.
Yeah.
So so you're, look, Delaney, number one, Adrien stan on the podcast, Cat Noir stan. That's your main takeaway, is like, you think we're going towards Adrien knowing.
I absolutely think that Adrien and Marinette will know each other's identities at the end of this season.
I think that's a big change from what we talked about last podcast.
Well, my thing is, like, I mean, this season started off with Marinette telling Alya, and then now we're building, and, like, I think that's another reason. So Luka knows, and I don't know if Luka's maybe going to talk to Kat.
Yeah, if they find out Luka knows, then, like, I feel like...
Yeah. Well, also, I think another big breaker, I actually think the real deal breaker will be if he finds out that Rena Furtive knows who Ladybug is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most direct thing that's going to happen, right? Is like, he's brought into the fold. He's like, Cat has to be brought into the inner circle.
He finds out from someone not Ladybug.
Yeah, and he'll get real mad.
Yeah, I think that's just his biggest thing, is that, because, you know, we did spend a lot of time in season 3 going over the trust between Ladybug and Cat Noir, and building this trust, and now it seems like we're into season 4, and Adrien's no longer trusting Ladybug, and I don't think she's like it's not a purposeful thing, but because of what's going on, he can't help but see it kind of in that light.
It makes you wonder, because... So the other thing, too, is Sentibubbler kind of, like, is part of... That episode is exploring Marinette's fear. She's so afraid because now Alya knows that it's going to get out. And it makes you... I mean, they've had to keep this secret for so long. And now it makes you want... Like, and I think part of this episode is easing that fear so that maybe she will feel comfortable enough to tell Adrien or Cat Noir. And, I mean, they were going to tell each other in the elevator. And so I think, now there's a bunch of different scenarios this could play out. So I don't have like a hard theory right now, but I am confident that it's going to happen at the end of this season, because I feel like that's what we're building to. Like there's no, like, maybe even if it happens next season, like this is what we're building to.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good point that, you know, Marinette's that getting more used to Alya knowing and having the miraculous in that episode. And also just in general, she's just going to be more comfortable with someone knowing her identity through Alya the whole season. Clearly we're building to something. You know, is it that at bare minimum, Adrien is like, Cat Noir is involved in the decision making along with the other two, even if he doesn't know who they are and they don't know who he is. He's like, so bare minimum. Here's another option. Maybe Marinette's like, I really think it's important that Cat and you and I still don't know who each other are, but Alya can know who you are too. So like that'll help us be a more cohesive unit.
And then Alya's like,
Alya knows who both of them are, but doesn't want Marinette to tell her. I think that's a way you could end the season.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
That would be fun, but I also think that it would help with that. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I wonder now if Luka will become Adrien's confidant, because now he's the only person who knows that he's Cat Noir.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that was something I was thinking about too, is that maybe this is where Luka and Adrien's like friendship and relationship builds out, because Luka is a huge empath, and so he no doubt probably understands that Adrien's frustrated and probably will like go out of his way to be his friend. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, let's go to what Luka says in this episode before he figures out the identities, because I think that'll be our biggest clue. Luka says, Marinette and Adrien, you have to learn to listen to your inner melodies.
So good.
Says to Marinette, the music of your... Look, Luka's not here. This is just my impression. I also have a Luka impression. I know some people are confused by that, but I also do just have a Luka impression.
You stop this, Dylan.
The music of your band is really beautiful. You just need some time to understand it, he says to Marinette. And he says, Adrien's true happy music is being muffled by someone else. So... yeah, like what's he gonna... He's just had insights into both of them. Now he knows more insights into their struggles. I think it's interesting.
Well, we know it's no lie that Adrien is suffocated in real life by his father. So
yeah, which he knows, and he now knows that he says Adrien's being muffled. You know, how's Cat Noir going to play into that? He probably is going to know Marinette has too much going on. I think that's more of a direct thing he knows. Like, he understands Marinette, why Marinette has too much to do.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's interesting how Luka. I think we have more insight into how Adrien plays into this, but Luka knowing both of those like an interesting wild card into the season. It's also still the last thing that's happened chronologically that anyone's seen so far. So like we don't know how it's going to play out yet. Maybe there's a direct follow up coming to this.
Yeah, there could
I
be.
wonder.
Honestly, this might stress Luka out.
I was gonna say.
I know. I'm worried for him.
But I also wonder if this is. Do we think we'll get like evil Adrien?
Honestly, that is something I considered, and also. Okay,
look, so here's the scenario. Adrien's so frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, what if our Shadowmoth's like, Adrien, I need to show you who I really am. You know, how's he going to react to that while also being frustrated?
Or
at Ladybug?
not even that. Maybe at some point, like Gabriel as
what if he
Shadowmoth
akumatizes them and he doesn't know it's Adrien when he sends it out?
Well, but I feel like he does. I don't know, but that's like.
My son?
Well, that's what I was wondering is if like at some point Adrien just becomes so frustrated as himself, not as Cat Noir, but as himself that Shadowmoth picks it up and is like, I can't ignore this, sends it out, it's his son Adrien, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna roll with this.
Well, or like I think it could be something like, what if they're fighting someone who's akumatized, and it's one of those situations where the akuma leaves that person, and maybe it's it's one of those, you know, where they need to like refuel, and he's so mad, or he leaves the fight or whatever and changes back, and he gets so upset that he's accidentally akumatized by the akuma that's now been freed.
Interesting.
Because I will say that
because I don't think I just don't know if it would jive with like, because Hawkmoth, you know, he says something really annoying when he sends out the Akuma, so he like has a vague idea of who it is. So I think he wouldn't necessarily Akumatize Adrien on purpose, but it could happen on accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and I think
do that.
I mean, it just depends too. He could just be so desperate because Ladybug has been handing out all of these charms to keep away like the Akumas, and so at some point. Shadowmoth is going to run out of people that he can akumatize. Yeah. So the only person that, in theory, could eventually be left is Adrien.
Okay,
and he has no choice to akumatize his own son. I mean, he's akumatized himself.
Yeah.
That is something
other than the fact that there's millions of people in Paris.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's only 15 people, Dylan. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's 20 on a
Mayor Bourgeois has a conference to the whole city, and it's just like the one class that's there. Like that's anyway. No, that's a great point by April. That another plot thread this season, which we take for granted, it's just at this point is Ladybug's giving out charms at the end of every episode. So yeah, maybe he's like, my Akuma's keeping deflected. Oh, here's Adrien. He's upset. This isn't easy. You know, he's like that. Like, I don't think, even though we criticize Gabriel as a father to be light about that, it would make more sense if he was limited, I guess, with what's going on.
This is a little out there, but I could see it happening. What if Shadowmoth is able to akumatize Cat Noir? And then when he's akumatized, he takes off his ring and reveals that he's Adrien.
Yeah, so he gets a reveal. You know, are we going to get Chop Blanc 2.0?
Well, that was the other thing.
I was going to say, because in Sentibubbler, it's very...
it was very weird to me that he was in the dream.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it was Chop Blanc. It wasn't Cat Noir that was in the dream.
Yeah.
It was Chop Blanc.
Could be foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
To be fair, Chop Blanc is super scary, and I don't blame her having a nightmare about him.
I think Chop Blanc popping up the second half of the season, I think, is a good bingo card item. I think that could happen. Let's bring Adrien as the Sentimonster into this, okay? Because we've been talking about this without this other factor that could go side by side with Adrien's growing frustrations, which is we get big hints in two of these episodes. So let me give you the evidence. You guys, I think you know, though. It's on that line. You guys rate how big evidence this is on Adrien the Sentimonster. Okay. In Wishmaker...
I have notes on this.
Adrien is unable to remember his childhood dream is kind of how it's presented.
Which
Everyone
is
else
really
has a childhood
weird,
dream. He does not have a childhood dream.
But when we do, so here's the other thing to add to that. When we do find out what his childhood dream was, his dream was to do whatever makes his parents happy.
Yes.
So that would mean that his parents had created him, the Sentimonster, because the Sentimonster only wants to do whatever's going to help that person.
What if there was never an Adrien? Because I think the way we've talked about it is that there was an OG Adrien.
Mhm.
I think they made a Sentimonster baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just
there's
never
kind
had
of
a regular kid.
we've had two versions of the theory. One
Also,
is
that could have been what broke the Miraculous, because they made a Sentimonster that grows.
Yeah.
I mean, this is part of the original theory. That's why the peacock's broken. It's like this big thing. It's because it sustains too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, either real Adrien died and Sentimonster Adrien replacing him, or they couldn't have a kid, and so they made a Sentimonster baby, or like teen. We still don't know the exact details.
Well,
but
I will say this makes me think they literally made a Sentimonster baby.
Yeah, well, there's a illustrated shot of Adrien as a baby, but it's not. It's like stylized. We don't know if that means that that's something that definitely happens. But when Adrien is, hit by the Wishmaker, he just becomes himself. He doesn't become a kid.
Right.
Notable.
Because he just wants to be whatever whatever will make his parents happy.
Right now, yeah. So the surface level explanation.
So funny, the knitting fairy.
The knitting fairy is good.
I loved the knitting fairy.
Yeah, Tanya was listening to the episode, so I'm watching it on my phone, and Tanya's like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "Give me a minute." Like,
yeah, I'm the Dino Huggy guy, by the way.
Same. Okay, I want to be a Dino Huggy. Yeah, oh my god,
come on, that's great.
I'm the knitting fairy now, but
knitting fairy is another good one.
I probably would have been the Dino Huggy.
Yeah, everyone wants to be Dino Huggy. So I would say that there's kind of like a surface level explanation to Adrien can't remember his childhood dream, because the whole episode's about how he's he's too suffocated by his father. So it's like. It could just be like he never was able to think for what he wants because he was so kind of repressed as a kid. But the Sentimonster explanation is he literally just never had a childhood dream because maybe he was never a child, maybe because he's always been controlled. This was definitely like a moment that stood out in terms of all this Adrien. Even before it happened, and he was just like, I can't remember. I was like, it's because you're a Sentimonster. Just the emphasis on he can't remember, and Shadowmoth's like, I'll help you remember or something, or not Shadowmoth, but Wishmaker says that. It's just. It seems so strangely presented.
And then Shadowmoth is like, my son.
My son.
So
here's the other big one. This is in Mega Leech, so it comes before this. More subtle, I guess, this one. Maybe we need this explained, which is the end of the episode. Adrien comes in, and Gabriel's like, you disobeyed me with the protest stuff. And
he's like, you made a stand against me.
Yeah, you took a stand against me. Yeah. And so Adrien walks away, and Gabriel looks after him, fiddling with the ring on his middle finger. Okay. So not as obvious as the other one, but let me have some more before I give an epic explanation, recap of the Sentimonster.
I was going to say, if you don't have an explanation, I have an explanation.
Let's recap the version of the Adrien Sentimonster theory presented after the episode Felix. In episode Felix, there are two rings, and Felix and the woman take. They even came back yet? When are they coming back? They take the ring that Gabriel had. And that's gone. So Gabriel, in response, goes down to the dead wife garden and takes the ring off of his comatose dead wife and puts it onto his finger. And that is now the ring that Gabriel has. We think that this is the object containing the amok, that ring, because it was safekeeping in the dead wife garden. No more secure location than the dead wife garden. It could have been originally used by the dead wife in creating Sentimonster Adrien, which is what put her into the coma.
Think there's also that I wonder too if it's probably not split because he probably would have really flipped out.
Yeah, if it was in the other ring. But so
my theory let's
to finish this off. Let's say that is in the ring. That's the object contains the amok. He now twiddles with this ring after his son disobeys him. He contains the he has the object containing the amok. He's thinking like he could make Adrien do what he wants. This is his Sentimonster. He has the Sentimonster object. We just saw this in Sentibubbler, I think, where Marinette takes the coffee cup, or no, was it Rocketear? She takes the coffee cup so you control in Sentibubbler can control the Sentimonster. So that it's like an issue of control with the Sentimonster with the amucked object. There's not really another explanation that's obvious as to what's going on.
Maybe he's been exerting his control and he's shocked that Adrien went against him anyway. Because we also know, because of one, Adrien's been a Sentimonster for so long. And also, like, he's probably the most powerful Sentimonster that's ever existed. He's also Cat Noir. And so now he probably has agency. And so, like, you know, and we've also seen that that they can break free, that they can become sentient. Like, they are sentient, but they can become their own people.
Yes. Yeah. April.
Also, there is no reason to show us that except for this, like, why have this really sad, dramatic episode if there's not a reason for it?
So, my theory is very much in line that the ring controls the Sentimonster, but what if, and this is how the Peacock Miraculous got damaged in the first place, is that the amok is in both of the rings.
That was something I was wondering, but I think he would have flipped out more that they took his ring. I mean, he did flip out, but...
I mean, yeah, he did flip out, but he was okay knowing that he still had one of the rings, but also because they don't know, like, that's the ring's power. And so he was like, you know what? Actually, it's probably safer with them because it's less likely to be destroyed. And... yeah, so I think that the amok is in both of the rings. Gabriel, he flipped out because, Felix stole the one, but at the same time, he's like, it's safer that way because it's less likely to get destroyed, and then Adrien is less likely to be, like, disappear as a result of that. But then he's also fiddling with the ring because he's like, oh, without both of them, I don't really have as much control as I would like over my son.
So he doesn't have the complete amok object set.
Because he did before. I mean, in a little bit of a sense, but we've also seen Adrien become more and more rebellious.
I also wonder if it's not just because he, like, you know, he's gaining agency, you know, but I also think I wonder if the Miraculous has, you know, is able to, like, break that spell a little bit.
Yeah, we don't know how him having the Miraculous interacts with it. But, I mean, you know, Adrien would have agency the whole show just because, you know, the person who could control him is not, you know, functioning at the moment.
Right.
So, but then he takes it back, and so he's like, oh, should I be controlling him? Regardless, it's like, this is like a big specifically emphasized moment in the episode. I guess the, like, monster explanation is just like, this is his wife's ring. He's thinking about that this is their son, and she's not here for it, something like that, you know. But, you know, I think this is one of those moments that maybe we're too obsessed with this theory, but it's just like the primary reaction is like, this is what's happening, right? Like, this is like an Adrien Sentimonster moment.
I don't
super weird that he doesn't remember. Like, it's super weird that he doesn't remember what he wanted to be as a kid.
Just
like, that's
taking them back to back is a lot.
It's just, for me, what sells it is that his dream was to do whatever made his parents happy.
That didn't hit me until we were talking about it. Yeah. That didn't hit me how important that was.
Like, that is exactly what a Sentimonster is there to do.
Yeah, and it's
holder happy.
That's the most important thing thematically, I think, is like that, you know, he's just always wanted what his parents wants because he's, you know, an object meant to fulfill the wishes of the person who created it. Like, and, you know, maybe that's a metaphor for, like, kids in the first place to parents, how some parents treat them, but, like, you know, and
it's because Adrien's a Sentimonster.
It's a sense, yeah. So look, no surprise, we're still on board with Adrien's a Sentimonster.
Well, they keep giving us evidence that it's true,
right?
You know, so going back to what I said about this long-term plot arcs in Ladybug, this is something they've been building from the beginning since season 1 when we talk about Adrien being allergic to feathers. They've had this in mind. Remember that we always forget about that piece of evidence.
He's allergic to feathers.
They've been seeding this throughout the entire series. Is this a lock to happen? I'm still going to say no because, again, I've said this a few times, the show sometimes puts forth ideas that are not followed up on as
Also,
red herrings. It
will
sometimes
say
purposefully does red herrings.
We really, really believed that Pink Diamond was lying, and it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah, that was, look, this is not that. This is, there's so much evidence.
There's so much, to be fair, I mean, Pink
And again, Pink Diamond being lying, it was an adjacent thing that happened. It was similar.
It was the same thing. It was basically the same concept.
Evidence that went, so look, that's something to keep in mind, a lesson we've learned. Evidence towards one theory could also apply to another theory you haven't thought of. So maybe there's something similar that all this is leading to.
For all we know, there's another dead body in the garden. Like, we don't know.
Double dead wife garden body.
Except
it's actually a polygamist.
My dead wife and son garden.
It's buried underneath the flowers.
Yeah, that
are endangered.
Okay. Emily has a twin, and she's dead too, and she's in that. So anyway, but my position on this, I think it's the same as before. The show is doing this on purpose with Adrien Sentimonster hinting. We will see if that means that it's something they'll follow up on. But the show likes hinting at things. It could or could not actually come to fruition. But let's tie this into Adrien's plot arc this season, which we just talked about, his frustrations.
He has no control over his life, zero.
Right? And that's, him, that is personified in the mythology of the show of him being a Sentimonster. I think it plays into that directly.
Absolutely.
Also, I do think, I know this is ridiculous, so we're just wouldn't it be hilarious if Adrien was a Sentimonster? But at the same time, I think it'd be really meaningful if if Adrien was able to break free fully and be he's a fully realized, whatever, because he's a Sentimonster, but he to get that ultimate agency over his life.
Yeah, so he needs the ring.
And it makes even more sense the way he treats himself as Cat Noir, because it's ultimate freedom.
Right. Yeah. And then another big appeal is that this makes sense thematically, the theory. It ties into Adrien's basic plot arc of him having more freedom as Cat. In the end of Wishmaker, Adrien says he's going to focus on the future to find his inner music now. That's his kind of big takeaway. Maybe he doesn't have a past. Maybe to him it's I didn't have enough of a past because I wasn't thinking for myself before in my life. But maybe he learns later he literally doesn't have a past. Yeah. But he's already kind of trying to shift his mindset to the future, and maybe he builds that future through his partnership with Ladybug if they fully have all the identity reveals and he's fully right beside Ladybug running this hero team. That's his future, even if he's a Sentimonster.
Right.
So, you can tie it into potentially where we're going here.
Also, we had another we also keep having Sentimonsters, guys who are people.
And Hawkmoth murders, Shadowmoth murders Sentibubbler. Very brutally. And, but it's Sentimonster also, Marinette grabs the Starbucks cup and, takes control of Sentibubbler, right? It's shown to us.
Snaps him out of existence.
Yeah. It's look,
we keep seeing how the Sentimonsters, act and move and interact, which I feel I mean, maybe it's just because it's good entertainment, but at the same time, why are you showing all of this to us?
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
Yeah, because then you're okay, if Adrien's a Sentimonster, obviously he has his own agency. He's not being controlled, which is what we saw in the Ladybug Sentimonster episode.
Also, there's just a difference between making a Sentimonster that's literally a monster, and then to keep making Sentimonsters that are people. Yeah. People we know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I don't know. I think it's a lot if this happens this season. I'm still skeptical that they would do Adrien's a Sentimonster this season.
I don't think that'll happen this season. I think there's too much else going on. My thing is, I do, honestly, I think at this point, I don't think that identity reveal is the long game. I think the Sentimonster is the long game.
Yeah. Because we're kind of identity reveal seems to be the name of the game this season so far. Right. So I kind of am more and more on board with the idea that Adrien
we're halfway through. We're halfway through the season and 2 people know now. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Even more than that, when you consider other things Nino told Adrien,
Yeah, Yeah,
So
Nino and that was another reveal. Nino told Adrien that.
I genuinely thought that Adrien was gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm Cat Noir" at some point. Like,
Me too. No,
I seriously thought we were going to have that moment.
I think he was thinking about it.
Yeah,
also,
he's very upset. Yeah.
Well, here's my thing: is like I really thought that he was going to tell Nino first, but now that Luka knows, I think Luka and him might talk about it. Granted, this doesn't eliminate him telling Nino, but
well,
we'll see if Luka comes into play with Adrien.
I feel like Adrien may confide in Luka about that because Luka's a third party. He's not a part of. I mean.
Yeah, you would think Kagami would more, but maybe they're still getting over.
No, because remember,
to be fair, Kagami wanted him dead. Let's be clear.
Yeah, she'll call him. Okay, like
yeah, true.
Yeah, no, that's.
I mean, I think they could still be friends, but we haven't really seen much of that yet.
Give her time. That woman is strong. She's gonna heal.
She got the Miraculous again in Mega Leech. So I would say, in my opinion, I think we are everything we're talking about. If we're doing all this, I think it would unfurl throughout season 5. Like, I don't think we would get the identity reveal at the end of this season. I'm at this point too skeptical. I think there's a version of it, like I said, maybe like Alya knows who Adrien is, but Marinette doesn't know. Some smaller version that happens at the end of this season, and then the big events start to unravel. In the last, 15 episodes or so of season 5. That would be my guess.
I don't know. At this point, I almost feel like we might find out even before the season finale of this season, and it ends up being like a big 3-episode arc.
Look, I would love it. Even though I'm loving what we're doing so much, I still would love.
Look, I'm just too shook by this season. The fact that she told Alya changed my life.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that really changed the course of everything.
Yeah, and Marinette's rules about being a guardian, is as
right.
Kat learns that's all he was like surprised by that. It's growing that like she's gonna just not have any reason to keep a lot of these things. Although, the looming thing can bring Shadowmoth back into it, that he learns the identities of some of the heroes at the end of season 3, right. And so that's still, telling people identities is risky right now.
It is, yeah.
And Marinette gave Luka the Miraculous despite him, Shadowmoth, knowing his identity. And potentially I'm not sure if everyone who she gave the Miraculous to in Mega Leech was people who weren't unmasked, if that's why she gave them specifically.
No, they were all unmasked.
Well, except Mylene, because she's new.
Yeah. Mylene's new. Well, and also, the B one is new.
But
Zoe's
we know
new.
Nino is...
Yeah, he knows Nino is Carapace.
And Kagami, I guess, does he know Kagami?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's because
she outed herself.
Yeah.
So I guess she'll give them out if it's like a quick thing like that. But I think that's
that's part
of
the big important thing is they're not allowed to keep them, because that's why Alya. It's a big deal that she's trusted Alya to keep hers.
Yeah. She just gets it back right away. Yeah. Okay.
Because he already tried that plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his big Alya plans have gone away, and he's thwarted an Optigami. We'll see how Shadowmoth regroups, presumably with something big.
It's increasingly becoming nerve-wracking. Like the fact that he bubbled Marinette, I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Big moment. But then he's like, Ladybug's gonna come, and it's like, no, you idiot.
No, it's not.
You dub. You put
also,
her in a
I'm
bubble.
still not over like when he found out Ladybug's. Oh, it's Adrien's like I'm like, dude, you're so annoying.
Marinette turns the knitting fairy. Luka was shocked. Shadowmoth, Ladybug is Adrien's classmate, Marinette. Like, at long last.
Oh my
I love
God.
that, his weirdo explanation of it. Like,
you mean the classmate that happened to be in Shanghai with you, you idiot?
God, he's so stupid. Like, he's so stupid. Like, also on top of that, I'm like, the only person you haven't akumatized is Marinette and your son.
Yes. Yes.
Like, how hard is this to figure out?
And then we talked about when Adrien gets revealed. My son? Oh my God.
Oh, it's so good. My son? It's so good. It's so good.
I bet he felt really dumb in that moment.
God.
Because he's
I'm just not over.
Wait a second, I already tested this theory.
Oh my God.
It would be fun if he said that at some point. Like, I thought I knew that it wasn't this. Yeah.
He's exhausting. Oh my God.
Okay, let's go. We've talked about several of these great meme moments already. I think I trained to particularly funny stuff in these episodes, because these are, like, as we've talked about, Ladybug continues to keep its great sense of humor throughout big things happening. We talked about Marinette's nightmare at the start of Sentibubbler.
And then she runs over there in her pajamas. Amazing.
Alya calls her Marinette and Ladybug instead in front of everyone. She says, "Why are you calling me Ladybug? I'm Marinette, just a normal girl with a normal life."
So good. A+.
That was good. Shut up. Chloe's there, Shadow Moth's there, and Chat Blanc's there. Yeah, we love Shadow Moth. Why are you coming to dinner?
I knew it was fake the whole time, but I had to keep pausing because it was stressing me out.
I know.
I was, and then I realized that's what you meant. I remember when you were in the chat and you're like, "Oh God, this episode's already like this."
I know. Yeah, I don't remember what triggered that, but yeah, that was good. It was good.
I'm pretty sure it was about the nightmare. Like I was like, "Oh
all
God."
Of it. I was triggered by all of it.
I mentioned the coffee cup. Underrated.
So funny.
This wasn't it wasn't even commented.
Look, it's chaos on the go. Duh.
So
the thing is, he's been planning this, but he cares so little. He put the amok in his
Shadow.
coffee cup.
He just akumatized his disposable coffee cup. Like that's.
Oh my God, he's so dumb.
And he's just holding it. He just left. Like he needs his caffeine because he left the
caffeine.
mansion.
He's like, it is.
He has.
Here's the thing, though. He was like, "This is such a good idea. I'm so smart." Like,
Sentibubbler is probably his most elaborate plan ever, and yet he just sticks the amok in his coffee cup that he's holding.
Look, he's like, look, it's too early in the morning. I need my coffee. He's like, but also I need the energy in case things go wrong. So I'm gonna.
Also, he starts chasing. He chases the mirage. Like, dumb.
Oftentimes Ladybug tells us it's being funny, like the nightmare's supposed to be like overtly funny, and sometimes it just doesn't. It just throws it in, like, oh, like this is like a dramatic moment with because Marinette grabs the cup. I swear to God,
the only reason they mention
so silly
dumpsters again is because we mention it so much.
Well, I actually think there's something that might be a reference to the podcast, but we could try to. Okay, but first, there's dinosaurs in the beginning of Rocketear.
So funny. Why are there dinosaurs?
And Bob Roth's like he's going to start an island for them.
The entire thing is Jurassic Park reference. Like, why?
I will say, I think Rocketeer is like probably the most silliest episode. I think this was like a bridge too far. Like, I think just random T-Rexes in the beginning of this episode.
Go a little far.
This like this was not to do with anything.
And then she's like, I shouldn't have. And I'm like, because my thing was like, are these dinosaur robots? And I was like, no, they're actual freaking dinosaurs.
It's like,
and
there's dinosaurs.
Also, I expected them to disappear when she miraculous ladybugs. I'm like, that's not the issue. What?
No, there's just dinosaurs in this show. Alya and Nina go on a date. They see the Ladybug animated movie. I think it's the sequel.
And then Cat Noir is like, oh my God, I love you, Rita Rouge. Oh, it's so good. And he's so mad. And like, she's like, bro, it's a movie. So funny.
I want to see that movie. Come on.
Yeah, where's our anime Ladybug movie? Let's go.
It's so good. I mean, that this show just contains that, like, a reference to the unmade anime version of the pilot that they put in as an animated version of their heroes in the animated show that now we've seen twice now. Yep, and also the creator of the show is a character in the show that directs that movie.
So good. A+.
Anyway, we talked about noir detective Nino in black and white.
We could never talk about it enough because it's so funny and it's like raining and it's so funny. And it goes on for so long.
It really does.
He's like presented with an increasing sequence of evidence that would get him convinced that.
Also, the whole time I'm mad about it because I'm like, y'all, like you're making this worse. And then Cat Noir, the mustache was really good. And then Cat Noir ruins it. I'm like, Adrien, you're dumb. Go home. I'm like, she doesn't have a crush on you. Oh my God.
It's pretty great though. I mean, look, there was a lot of evidence.
Fun of him, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like how we illusion the audio into the video.
That was interesting.
Good. Okay, in Wishmaker. So first of all, a big Luka lore reveal. We learn that he actually makes stringed instruments. He's not just a guitarist.
I have some comments about this.
Yes, because the first thing I think of my favorite movie, Whisper of the Heart, where Seiji Yamasawa, the love interest, is a maker of stringed instruments, and I believe we are directly referencing that movie by making Luka's thing exactly the same as Seiji.
Makes sense.
Love that. The Alec pulls out a guitar app, and in order to mock Luka, why are you making these instruments? There's an app on your guitar. Flashback to our podcast where we were guests on Luka's podcast. This was, several years ago. I don't know if it could have been written in time, I don't know how to say this in in tune, but I pulled out a guitar app, and at some point Delaney's like, "Is that a guitar app you have that you're playing?" And I'm like, "Yes." And, like, it's stealthily in the background. Like, this happened on the podcast 3 years ago.
I'm dying, Dylan.
Okay, I literally, me and Tanya were talking about something in the car, and it was like something about, there was like a really dumb, so there was something on the radio or something, and Tanya's like, oh, so you just like, everyone has a special interest podcast. Like, she was like crapping on it, and I was like, I can't say much right now. And then she she was laughing at me. And then she goes, well, to be fair, like, you've had like creators on your podcast. And I was like, I mean, Thomas 100% listens to our podcast. Like, we just had this conversation.
We know that. In our Silencer podcast, April 7th, 2019.
Oh my God.
I played a guitar app in the tune of Luka. Your feelings, I feel like I have to express them through song. But
How many do you have? What do you do? Like, is this...
I'm playing guitar, Delaney.
Did you buy a guitar specifically for this?
I'm Luka. I always have a guitar.
There's some stupid button on his keyboard.
Is it an app on your phone? That would make sense.
Yes.
Anyway,
Did you say yes?
Thomas, tell us, were you inspired by our Silencer podcast?
Also hilarious. Like, also Tanya, after I told Tanya what happened in this episode, Tanya's like, oh, so like Luka's gonna be on, right? And I was like, please don't wish that upon me. Like, why would you do that?
Look, I still could call up Luka. That could happen.
Oh, I hope we're running out.
I will say, whether that happens or not, probably not at this point. I wasn't even considering it before you told me Tanya said that, so I was going to do it, and then.
Oh, I know. I
Tanya.
messaged Dylan a while back when this happened, and I was like, oh great, I gave Dylan this idea.
Yeah. If I were to call up Luka would just say like, this is my impression. This is not really Luka, So yeah, I also have a Luka impression.
I hate you
like
so much.
Delaney, did you know Marinette's Ladybug and Adrien's Cat Noir? Delaney, I can't believe it, Delaney. Like,
this is a bad impression. I don't think.
Did you know that, Delaney?
I feel like if we asked him, he would dodge the question because he's too nice.
I know. Well, that's my impression of what he might do.
So much. It's so irritating. The fact that the meme now has a meme of the meme is like just worse. Like,
and the show memed on our meme. Look.
I know. Also, like the whole time, like I want to. The whole sequence with Alec is so cringe. Like the whole time, and then Andre ruins his life.
Yes, Andre. We got crucial Andre lore too.
Very important.
That he was a desk worker. Delaney's like, this is my inspiration for my future life.
Literally
Andre.
me. I'm literally Andre.
Yeah, let's open an ice cream stall. That's
I keep telling Dylan that we're gonna have a food truck, so ice cream is fine too.
That'd be that checks out.
I thought Adrien would have been would have discovered that he wants to be a baker, like Marinette's dad.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. There's a fanfic out there.
He always has such an interest in cooking things.
I like it.
He likes the bakery.
Plog wants to open Cat Noir and Plog's fromagerie. So they
could have cheese at the bakery too. I think this is.
But how are you going to sell cheese if you eat all of it?
That was a great.
And he was, yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And Plog was like, "You're right." So funny.
Okay, next, obviously, this is, I think, I've seen this talked about much in the Ladybug fandom. This is one of people's favorite gags. Jagged Stone's childhood dream is to be a crocodile.
It's so funny.
And then it's revealed he cannot swim. So funny. And Luka's like, Dad, crocodiles can swim. And he's like, I didn't know to swim as a kid, so there you go.
So funny.
I loved it.
Crocodile Jagged, amazing.
Also, as a violin player, I must say I really appreciated Luka, playing the instrument with the air. I thought that was cool because
beautiful sequence of him playing.
Yeah, and that's I don't know, that is how those instruments work, and it was really cool.
And then last, Project Oxygen.
Oh, it's so good.
In Mega Leech.
Yes, they
the long anticipated
Space Dumpster.
Yes, Space Dumpster follow up we'd been waiting for years.
After the fail that was Space Dumpster.
So good.
Yeah.
I feel like that piece of dialogue exists only for us. It's so good.
I know, we didn't make up Space Dumpster. That was a part of the episode.
I know we didn't make it up, but the thing is, we won't shut up about it.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's apparent.
Never shut up about Space Dumpsters.
So
Project Oxygen ain't crap, space dumpsters are where it's at, okay? Like, that rhymes in my attempt to not say a curse word. But, like, that's, look, let's rate the space dumpster follow-up. So, Project Oxygen, we see the video featuring Adrien, and afterwards he's like, I thought this was a clone ad. That was
great.
It's a giant skyscraper that takes in pollution and outputs fresh air, and in order to do that, they're going to cut down all the trees. And then they sell the fresh air in designer containers.
Yes.
Here's a genuine question. I really want you guys to think about it. Okay. What's a better environmental plan? Is it building a giant skyscraper to take in all the pollution instead of having trees that for you, or is it ejecting your trash into space?
Oh, it's space dumpsters. We already do that, for the record.
Yeah, space dumpsters.
Space trash is actually a problem.
The movie Spaceballs would like its idea back. Thank you.
That's true.
From the Project Oxygen?
Yeah, because
they
literally have like canned air.
It's like canned air exists in real life. You can get canned air from top of a mountain or something.
Spaceballs is like from the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I think canned air may like.
Also, I don't know when the Lorax was written, but this is literally the entire plot of Lorax.
Yeah. I agree. I think space dumpsters, at least it makes more sense. Like, we got no insight into the filtration system in the skyscraper or anything.
Well, how are they going?
I can't believe they built. Their plan is to build a giant Dyson. I can't deal with it. Like,
yeah.
This is great.
How does that building exist? Because it's essentially like a cone.
Also, how are they going to build it? How are they going to fit it in
an upside down pyramid scheme?
Also, where on Earth, where were the kids going to hang out if they tore down the one park they all hang out in? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also in this episode, we've been calling this the park. So
apparently it's a really important part.
Apparently this is the Place, Place de Vosges. Like, it's an important square in Paris. So I apologize for years of just calling this a random park. It is like a Paris staple.
In our defense.
We're ignorant Americans. I'm sorry.
We did not see the Eiffel Tower, so I didn't know
where
I think it's right next to the Eiffel Tower. I think it's all. I think it's all in the same place.
Okay.
I don't know about real life. At least in this show, everything.
Okay, I was about to say in the show, everything is really close to the Eiffel Tower.
I appreciated the dub. Referenced Place de Vosges. It kept it in several times.
It did.
Yeah.
Also, I know this is in the quick hits, but Miss Bustier is like, oh my god, we're leaving right now. She was so mad.
Well, I love that. She just calls up and he's like, did Sabrina do something? And she's like, no, but let's talk about these other people. And he's like, she's not supposed to know or figure out.
So funny.
Yeah, we can talk about that sequence of events. But anyway, we loved Project Oxygen. They use it for a legit environmental fable, I think, for the most part.
I think it hits pretty well.
Yeah. I think so. Ladybug can be moralistic to a large extent. We had the episode earlier this season that's still probably the worst of the season, but you appreciate it in the sense where it's like a campy 80s episode of a show. We talked about that. Ladybug it's silly while still having an overt message sometimes. I do think the Space Dumpsters was trying to be, the basic concept is they're mocking, stupid politicians that don't care about the environment having these plans that don't mean it. So that's the original concept of Space Dumpsters. But the episode doesn't weigh itself down in that too much. They lean more, they go more into it in this episode, and I think it also works.
It also helps that it's tied to Milane's character.
Yes, I think that's the big thing. Is it's a lot in Milane
also,
and
I think
Ivan.
Milane was a really good obviously this wouldn't work for everyone, but as someone who has anxiety, I think Milane is a really inspiring character.
Yeah.
I think she's reassuring herself in the beginning and not going to be afraid of everything. Well, I think it's good. And then
she's confident enough to sort of reassure Marinette at the same time too, which I think is I loved it that she's just here's this pin, this helps me, this will help you. Just whenever you touch it, you'll
really
think about
her. And Rose are very much they're heroes in their own right. They don't need the Kwamis.
Her and Rose we should see an episode with the two of them. I think they're similar.
And also they're adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milan and Ivan.
Also, Milan and I was about to say Milan and
they're
Ivan.
protesting.
So
they're Teddy Bear and Little Mouse. It was adorable.
So cute.
She's ugly
Even though
crying.
she's
Oh,
afraid
Little
of
Mouse, and then
mice,
she gets the mouse miraculous.
And she's afraid of mice.
And they're protesting, and it's like, we've been protesting for 6 months, and you guys haven't noticed us. I thought that was like that actually kind of hits, because everyone ignores people with the petitions. I think, and the most overtly moralistic thing that I still think is good is that Marinette takes inspiration from what Milan is telling her about. It's not about this one big solution that's not realistic. It's about these little small solutions. That's where she gets the idea to give the mouse miraculous and approach the villain that way.
We need Wait, go ahead, finish, and then I have a really dumb thing I want to say.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. It's just like it's in your face, but I think it's effective. It ties into the plot of the episode.
I think that's part of why this episode is so strong, is because they're doing that, Saturday afternoon PSA, but it's also tied. It's very much tied to the plot of the episode.
Yeah. I think it was good in that regard. What was your something dumb?
Okay, we kind of need to talk about this horrifying, this episode's kind of horrifying, and it's really SpongeBob because Maledictator is jumping into their brains.
Yeah, very cartoony. Yeah.
It was kind of messed up.
Yeah, I'm like, brains I don't think work like that.
No, that's absolutely not how it works.
But it's the show has mind control every episode.
Wouldn't it hurt? Wouldn't they have to pop through the ear drive?
I think if something landed in your brain, I think you'd just die.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But again, the show's based on mind control. That's I don't think it is kind of funny that we have this magic mind control, and then in this episode we have a different mind control.
That's the part that
it's a little guy going into your brain and pulling at the strings.
I do think the animation and the sound for when they become controlled is really funny.
Yeah, and there's a great fake out when she gets the Lucky Charms the ice skate and de-evilizes one of them, and she's like. And it's no, don't Lucky Charm. They're still there. I think that was good.
Yeah,
it's good playing with the format. Did we cover all the memes? Yeah, we covered Project Oxygen enough. Let's quickly go through the other quick hits for stuff we haven't talked about, if anything. I mean, Marinette in the bubble, we didn't talk about enough. Then she creates an illusion of her in the bubble so she can transform quietly.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Marinette talking to Cat Noir. There's a big Maricat moment.
Oh, and then that was she was like, "Oh, I've been up here though," and so I
was just watching it all. Yeah,
shut up. I can't believe it worked. That's the part that really got me. I was like, I can't. I mean, I can because he's so stupid, but
Yeah, Alya talks to herself as illusion. Alya, we leads Shadowmoth away. No, she's also she's like, we're gonna go hand out this other very powerful miraculous.
Oh, it's so good.
Shadowmoth's like, oh,
he falls for
very powerful.
He's like a more powerful one.
So dumb.
That was in this very serious series of moments. It's a clearly stupid funny thing, but it's also obviously he'd fall for that. Yeah, it's checks out.
Sweet.
Cat he cataclysms his bubble and gets rebubbled.
So funny.
I loved that.
Yeah. Oh, we get Pegabug in this episode.
Pegabug's always good.
And she voyages out of the bubble to take the coffee cup. Yeah. And Alya and Marinette pound it at the end of the episode. There you go. In Rocketeer, we talked about the dinosaurs. Super Penguino. It's good. The projection of the video, I think we briefly talked about that too.
Really cool.
Alya. So Nino renounces his Akuma after Alya hugs him. That's a big moment
that
too.
was really good.
Yeah, so he's
also, this has happened 3 times now, and every time Hawkmoth is like, what?
Is it the third time this season, right? Yeah. Pretty, I think pretty big. Wishmaker. Oh, so how about Alec in drag at the end of his new show?
Wait, also Nino as Rocketeer, straight up was gonna murder Cat Noir. He literally hit him in the chest with the tear.
Mad at him. Yeah. And they're fighting for a while. Loved Alec's backstory as he gets made fun of for his hair. And then so at the end he's dressed up in drag. He says something about loving yourself, which I do believe is a RuPaul quote.
Yeah, it was very RuPaul.
RuPaul, yeah. I love this from Alec. I think him as the hero was great. I think it's one of our best hero designs as Wishmaker. It's just a really fun hero power too. And this is a great end to this character. A lot of times like a meme character. He starts with the "you gotta be kidding me" show.
Yeah, no, I really liked what they did with Alec.
Yeah, very, very like sentimental, overly sentimental in a way. It's like he goes from like the punked type of host, right, into like a "you live your dream" like kind of host.
Yeah.
But it feels it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about Wishmaker? I mean, there's I think we actually the cucumber. Okay, so someone's dream was a cucumber.
I'm a cucumber.
It's revealed it's Mr. Banana is the one who wants to be a cucumber.
I just love that he's like, oh yeah, like this makes sense, and then the cucumber's just rolling down the street.
Also, like it's a Rick and Morty reference. Like,
Yes.
why?
You would think, yeah. Mr. Banana wants to be, or is it the thing with like cats are afraid of? Was that in the episode? Cats are afraid of pickles. Was that in the?
Yeah,
Like
that
a
was
Rick
in the Rick
episode?
and Morty episode too. Like
Okay.
at the very beginning, he's like, "Whoa, I know
Okay.
you're like
Are they afraid
whatever."
of cucumbers too, or something? Okay.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, because the cucumber is just
It's
a
just a
bigger
pickle,
version
yeah.
of a pickle.
Pre pickle, yeah. Okay, there. I think we talked about most stuff in Mega Leech as well. But let me quickly scroll through here. The giant fan. I think it's a big moment for Milan when she like jumps
Also,
into the giant fan. I wouldn't do that.
Kiki's like mad at Marinette because she like faked being akumatized to scare
Oh, yeah.
Milan. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
what? Like,
I also enjoyed all of the Kwamis being like, "Well, aren't you? Isn't like big Ladybug
good.
your
yeah,
job?"
it's so
Yeah,
funny.
and
I will
Wishmaker,
say,
that was fun.
consistently, all of the Miraculouses, like all the Kwamis talking is hilarious. Like it's like
I
they're
do
so
enjoy
funny.
it.
Yeah, that's a great setup to the season that they've. It's like a framing that they have for many episodes that's been really successful. That they've changed.
It's so funny.
Mhm.
Some time ago during our Space Dumpster program. Yeah, that's a quote from this episode.
Yep.
So good.
Oh, rip Space Dumpsters.
Rip Space Upstairs.
Yeah. We're not too far away from someone like Ron DeSantis and trying to implement Space Dumpsters, right? Like this is,
No.
this is
It's
like
gonna
this is like
happen.
realistic. Like
Okay, my thing is like we already have a bunch of trash in space, and it's already a problem because there's too
yeah, but
many
it's not like we're
satellites.
sending it up there. It's like it's debris, right, from satellites and stuff.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not a good idea, but also what we're doing is also not a good idea.
Yeah,
Just shoot it all into the sun. It'll be fine.
it'll be fine.
That's what went wrong with the Space Dumpster program.
You didn't put it somewhere specifically. Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
they just let
It's
it.
fine. We're just gonna turn the moon into a dumpster. It's fine.
No, not the moon. She's
Remember,
too
it doesn't-
beautiful.
Cat like breaks the moon.
Yes.
in Check
Yeah.
Blanc. Yeah. Okay.
The moon.
Delaney, anything else in these episodes? Any final thoughts?
I just loved all of them, and I'm kind of sad it's on hiatus. But these are really good set of episodes. I'm really loving this season. Like it's really like for me, what's really so incredible about Ladybug is like the journey we've gone on, like as a series, like as a show, like how much the show has evolved. And honestly, like I know it's not necessarily everyone's favorite thing, but I do think the serialization in the beginning is really like what has made Ladybug what it is. Like I don't think Ladybug would be as good if we, weren't where we were when we started. Like the fact that we went from like, this very like episodic and then like slowly and like, it's kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like Gravity Falls, except I think honestly Ladybug's done it in a more controlled, like
Right, like for every
Yeah.
show, like Gravity Falls and Owl House, that is like not given its full due to like explore everything.
Right.
Ladybug is the show that actually has been able to go from this
right.
completely non-serialized show to exploring all the minor threads it was
Right.
thinking about.
And all
It's-
of the like mythology, because there's a lot of mythology in Ladybug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think something like Steven Universe is the closest we've seen, but even
Right.
that show didn't end up getting to get into everything it wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
Ladybug is like really the one show that will really get to do
Whatever. Yeah.
everything as it's getting, even 2 more seasons beyond
Right.
kind of the full fleshed out 5.
Yeah.
And potentially more.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And,
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposedly getting a movie soon, guys.
yeah, that's also a
Oh,
thing.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's been a joy to see kind of this journey start to flesh out this season. April, any final thoughts?
I mean, not really. Just that this has been an amazing season, and I can't wait to watch it all in order someday.
LOL. So
When will you do it?
Whenever I can.
Okay, when we get all the episodes.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope we get more Ladybug this calendar year. We'll see. I mean, there's an episode that hasn't aired in the US already, so I don't know at what point will Disney consider bringing it back. But
I'm just gonna be really mad if they're like the episodes that we're missing are just super pointless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's been like any, there's like we said, even the minor episodes, there's like a new Miraculous given out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be something, but probably we've seen the major ones, but maybe not. We still have the Gabriel Agrest episode titled that Gabriel Agrest, so that's missing.
My buddy is ready.
Oh, we bet it is. Okay. Yeah, there you go. We think we covered it all here. This podcast, in the middle, this was like very serious discussion, and then we got to the meme stuff, and it was great.
This is what people want.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to give the
we got to talk about space dumpsters, sent to Adrien.
Oh yes.
And memes. So like.
Yeah. Look, let us know.
We hit all of our greatest hits. Okay?
We
did. I think we kind of hit almost everything. Yep. Maybe not enough romance discussion. That's maybe what we're missing here is big Adrien Marinette moments.
We're saving that for another podcast.
It's true.
Also, the show may be saving it until
Kat
brought back into the fold, and then yeah.
And they can all spend more time together. Oh, it's going to be so good.
If they get the reveal, or even if not, okay. So we have lots to look forward to. Let us know what you think of the Sentimonster theory, where we're at with that, all of our discussion about Luka, and, whatever else happens, space dumpsters, those are the most important things. So
it's true.
Leave a comment wherever you're listening. So when will we be back? Not until Disney starts airing episodes again, probably. We'll see if there's any in between podcasts. I think it's awkward when there's episodes we haven't seen that you all have seen to try to do a discussion of some sort. So I don't know how it would work, but we'll see if there are any topics that are on our minds. But if not, I'm sure we'll reference Ladybug in other podcasts as well. Like we talked about Adrien's a Sentimonster during the Owl House podcast last time. So if you're not watching Owl House, there's an Adrien's a Sentimonster theory in Owl House.
Also,
too, so that should be...
I don't understand why my super fire tweet didn't go viral about...
I know. I basically said what you said during the podcast. It was too early. We hadn't... you were too on top of it.
It's true. I was like, this is the funniest tweet in the world. Like,
yeah, no. We have two major shows with blonde boy clones in them.
Like, come on. Like, and it's like, if I had a nickel... I'd only have 2 nickels, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Like, also, this is like mine and Tanya's new favorite thing to say to each other.
The nickel thing?
Yeah, it's so funny for no reason. Okay. It's great.
Glad you guys are having fun.
I love it.
Yeah, just so y'all know, being married is just like repeating memes to each other. And then explaining memes the other one doesn't understand.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That checks out. Being married is just saying memes to each other.
Yeah, that's okay. Just so
there you go. Okay, what haven't I said? So if you consider supporting us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated, thanks to our current patrons, especially our patron podcast, Damien, and thanks to our Patreon executive producers, Steve Beatrice, Michael, and Phoenician. TBD what the next Overly Animated podcast is, but Ladybug and Owl House have stopped airing for now, so we will see. But make sure you leave our comments and feedback for Ladybug, and we'll be excited whenever we get back to the show. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.